Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and this is my little corner of the internet where I share with you how knitting and other fiber crafts have woven into my life. Today's video, I just want to share with you all of my knitted sweaters that I've made over the last 5 years. So for a little bit of context, I really picked up knitting again in 2020, COVID, the pandemic. I think a lot of people went back to crafts at that time. I was living in Germany with my husband because he is in the military, and my coworker was knitting, and then I picked up knitting again around that time as well. I'd learned when I was younger, but came back to knitting in 2020. And 2020 is when I really started knitting, but I would say became like a really deep knitter, capital K knitter. I started knitting garments, I really got into knitting podcasts, all that kind of stuff. It's now 2025, it's been 5 years, and I feel like I've really honed in on my craft. I've made a lot of garments since then, and things have changed. So this video is inspired by Breathing Yarn. I watched a recent video of theirs where they were trying on their sweaters going into this fall season, making some decisions, thinking about how they fit, etc. And I was really inspired by that video. So I wanted to do something similar, going back, looking at my previous 5 years of garments, trying them on, making some decisions, and just taking you with me to talk about what has worked, what doesn't work, and things I might change going forward. Over the last 5 years, I've obviously gained a lot more skills. I've learned how to make accommodations to fit my body a bit more. My body has changed over the last 5 years, but in general, I just thought it might be fun to kind of go through, try on all my previous garments, and then just chat about them with you. So my very first garment that I made was actually this one that I'm wearing today. This was my Rift, and it was the very first garment that I made, and I made it in 2020. And so I just thought it would be fun to throw it on today. In today's video, I want to talk about all of my knitted sweaters. So I'm going to look at my sweaters, cardigans, vest, really my cold weather items that I've knit that are garments. I'm not really going to look at tees or tanks. Maybe I'll revisit this kind of same video in the spring when things warm up, but we're moving into the fall season here. It's cooling down, and I'd like to be able to make some decisions. Maybe I'll destash some of these. I'm not really sure where this video is going to go. I just know that I kind of want to try on all my sweaters, see what I think of them, tell you a little bit about them, and we'll make some decisions from there. I have about 5 years worth of sweaters that we'll go through in today's video. For each of them, I want to share the pattern that I did, the yarn that I used, and when I made it. I'm also then going to be ranking each of the sweaters on the yarn, the fit and the size of the garment, the versatility of that garment in my wardrobe, and then the color as well. Those are kind of the 4 things I'm going to be looking at, and we'll just kind of chat and go through my knitted wardrobe together today. So let's try on some clothes. For today's video, I'm wearing some of my high-waisted barrel pants from Old Navy, and then just a basic tank top so that I'm able to try these items on pretty easily. Yeah, overall I'm going to be sharing all my projects. I'm going to start with my oldest projects and move through to my newest projects. So if you've been watching the podcast for the last 5 years, you'll probably have seen me knit most of these garments. But if you're stumbling upon this video or you're new to the channel, this will be a nice little recap, I guess, of 5 years of knitting, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I have all my notes on my Ravelry pages, which I will be referencing because I can't remember 5 years worth of information, but it's a good thing I record stuff on my Ravelry. So after my Rift, which is my very first t-shirt, I had made a sweater for Shane and another cardigan that I have since gotten rid of. So my oldest garment that is in my wardrobe is this cardigan, and I will try it on. So this I actually made after I made a sweater for my husband because I had leftover yarn, so then I ended up using the leftovers to make myself a cardigan, and that's this cardigan. So this is my Stillwater cardigan, and it is a cardigan pattern by Mary Green. I finished it in January of 2021. I started in August of 2020. And I made a size 44 inch, which is smaller than my bust. As you can see, I can stretch it closed, but it does not naturally fall closed. But overall, I don't think it fits terribly. I knit this with Cascade 220 worsted weight. So it's a worsted weight cardigan, and I used Purple Jewel Heather as the colorway. And I actually steeked this pattern. It's not written to be steeked, it's written to be knit flat, but I steeked it. So it's my first cardigan that I made, and I decided to steek it. So overall, I think the yarn is pretty nice. Honestly, I don't wear this cardigan a ton. I don't know if purple is like my go-to color. I also think it's just a bit small. As you can see, like, it's definitely bracelet length sleeves, which I think is fine as an aesthetic in general, but because it's a little small in the bust, it tends to do this where it sits really wide on me. I much prefer a cardigan that would sit closer to like this, kind of covering more of my front, but this one really naturally likes to just like fall back and be really open, so it's not really like that big snuggly cardigan that I would like. I don't tend to wear it. I love a cardigan. I think the yarn is fine. It does pill, but I think yarns just pill. I do think I just made the sleeves too short, and I think it's just too wide of a cardigan for my liking. So I don't tend to go to this very often. I do think the steek was successful. I mean, I did the steek and then I added the button band. I just don't like this wide. It just likes to like fall off. I have really narrow shoulders, and so things tend to slip off. Narrow shoulders and a larger bust. So I guess on a scale, I would probably give this a D. Because I don't mind the yarn, I don't mind the weight, but it just feels a little small. And it's just not my go-to cardigan. I think I hit all the metrics, so that's the first garment. And I guess if we were being objective, I don't know if I would keep that one or if I should rehome it. So the next is a colorwork sweater. So this sweater I finished in September of 2021. I test knit this sweater. This is the Wild Joy by Samantha Guerin. And this wasn't the first test knit sweater that I did. I had done a test knit t-shirt, but this was my first sweater. I knit this with Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in multiple different colors. And with all of these, I'm going to be making a bundle of my project pages so that you can go and look at any more details of these that you need. But this sweater has a lot of memories knit into it. And that's where one of my sayings of like, I hope you put a little bit of love in every stitch. I just think knitting holds memories and experiences. So this one has a lot of that in this because I knit this sweater while we were on a trip to Ireland. And I worked on the garment. I remember just distinctly working on it in like a hotel lobby while having a drink with my husband and just like working on the color work. So it definitely has nostalgia in it. I love Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I think it's a great workhorse yarn. It does pill, but I mean, I've gleaned and pilled this sweater and I still think it looks pretty nice. I mean, it's definitely got some fuzzies on it, but nothing too bad. I do think the neckline on this sweater comes a little bit up on the front, but not terribly. I do just notice it and I tend to kind of just like pull it down a little bit. I think there's short rows in the back, like below the gray, but maybe I would need a few more. I don't mind the round yoke. I do think if I knit this again, this is not my best color palette. I don't think a light gray is kind of my like best color. I think I'm more of a like browns, earth tones kind of person. I think they look a little bit nicer on me. So for that, I sometimes don't pull this out just because I feel like I've moved away from gray a little bit. But overall, it is like I like this sweater on like a really cold, snowy day. I like having the arms rolled down. It's knit to where you can roll them up. I almost never have them rolled up like this. But this is like, I see it as like a really cold winter's day kind of sweater. With the worsted weight and the color work, it is a bit warmer. It's a bit thicker. So I don't always reach for it. I also think sometimes color work just like isn't as versatile in my wardrobe. I think it looks really cool, but I don't know. It's harder for me to grab them and put them on. So I don't know. It's not like an everyday sweater. It's also like, I think for the worsted weight, I think it's just a little bit warm for the climate that I'm in now in Denver, if that makes sense. I think the length is nice. I just have an issue with this collar riding up. Maybe I just need more short rows in the back. I think it looks very like classically knitted. Color work, knitted, winter. It's like my snow day sweater. Yeah, I would knit this again, but in a different color palette. It is also just really warm. So yeah, that's this sweater. I then quickly moved into another colorwork garment. Oh, and I forgot to mention, my Wild Joy, I knit the size 48-inch bust. My next sweater, I also knit a size 48-inch bust. And this was a sweater that I made once we moved here to Denver. So this one's gonna have very similar information as to the last one. One thing I also have learned about all my sweaters is I really need to put tags in them, because it's really hard to tell which is the front, which is the back. This is my Chalet Days sweater by Samantha Garrett. I also test knit this sweater. I knit the size 48. It's a worsted weight pattern, and I knit this with Nerd String Superwash worsted weight in the colorway Rebel Rebel and then Pearl. It's again a round yoke sweater, but this is a superwash yarn. And on it, I really like this one. I think, so with the yarn, the superwash, I know it tends to grow, but it is a lot softer and nicer on the skin. Like I can wear this and it feels like a really nice hug. It feels nice. It doesn't feel scratchy, which I don't mind a bit of scratch, but something about this, like it feels soft. It is merino, and none of the other ones I've tried on today are merino. So there is that. It is just a softer wool, but I think the superwash helps as well. So that's what I think about the yarn. I think it's really nice. I think the colors that I picked, I like this purple. Is purple my go-to now? I don't think so, but I'm kind of embracing purple a little bit more. I do think it can suit me. I like a nice rich purple. And I think the white here looks really nice. It's a nice contrast. I think it shows up really well. Like you can really see the design. Again, I have a similar feeling about a colorwork yoke as I did as the previous one. Sometimes I do think they're a little more, I want to say loud. I just think they're a little harder to wear every day because it doesn't look like a staple, but I do think this is one that I could get away with wearing on a regular basis It is really comfortable. Something about this worsted weight feels less thick than like the Wild Joy. Maybe it's that there's less colors in the yoke. Maybe it's a superwash. I'm unsure, but overall I do like this one more than the other one. Maybe it's the yarn, maybe it's the sizing. I don't know. I do think with this sweater, I made the sleeves too short. I mean, again, they are bracelet length sleeves, but I don't like bracelet length sleeves. I've realized this. I always want to pull it full length down to my hands. I also think the sleeves are a little snug, but it's kind of nice. I would wear this by itself, not like over something else. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think I have any fit issues with this. I would have maybe made the sleeves a little bit longer, but overall I think everything else fits really well. The neckline on this one does not bother me, and I think it's pretty comfortable. So yeah, I like this sweater a lot. I should wear it a little more in my rotation of sweaters. Here is my next sweater. And this one I have thoughts about for sure. This is my Stratified sweater by Tiff Nealon, and it was in the worsted book from Lina. I knit a 48-inch bust on this one as well, and I used Rosa Pomar's by Roa yarn, which is a worsted weight, woolen spun, very natural yarn. It uses 5 colors, I think. Yes. And I picked all these colors from when I worked at Fancy Tiger Crafts. I have thoughts about this sweater. I think this is a sweater I really got swept up into the like, oh, I want to make something, and other coworkers were making this sweater. And so I like picked from what was available versus like really picking something that like I would love, if that makes sense. So this yarn, it's very lightweight. It is quite warm and quite itchy. I'm pretty tolerable to itchy yarns, but this one is exceptionally quite scratchy. I also like this sweater is something I would wear a long sleeve shirt under, which then kind of leads it to I really only wear this if it's quite cold outside. But then once you're inside, it's almost too warm, so it's kind of like an outside layering piece. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I also really dislike this neckline. It is so wide. It goes all the way out. Look how far this goes. Like, it's basically off my shoulders. So I hate this neckline. I absolutely do not like it. I do not think it fits well. I can't really wear a tank top under it. My bra straps are showing. So it's just this weird mix because it's like a really warm yarn, but then the widest neckline. So then like I have to wear something under it, but then you always see what's under it. I don't know. I do not like the neckline. I also don't think I picked great colors for myself. I kind of call this my like faded Easter sweater because I feel like I picked a lot of Eastery colors, like yellow and pink and green. It's kind of springy, but I have to wear it in the fall. I don't know. This is not my best sweater. I don't really wear it because I don't really love how it looks. I don't love the yarn. I mean, I think the raglan fit is fine. I don't mind how the raglan fits on me. I just really don't like the neckline. I think the length is fine. So yeah, this is my Stratified sweater. I think all of this is not a fault on the pattern. I think I could have picked a better color palette. I enjoyed knitting it because you have these like twisted sections and plain sections, and the stripes are all different colors, or lengths. So it is fun to make. But then you have things like you only have this light stripe like once, and then like on right here. Like, you barely have this white stripe. And then, I don't know. It's just not my best sweater. So, if I knit this again, I would definitely modify the neckline. I'd have to pick a different color palette. And I'd pick a different yarn. So I think just like overall, when I look at all the metrics of like the yarn, I didn't really love. The fit and size, like the sizing is good, but I'm not a huge fan of the neckline. I don't find it super versatile, but I think that's because it's just such a loud piece with all the colors, and maybe if I'd pick different colors, it'd be more versatile. So I feel like this one just doesn't hit the marks for me. So that's my Stratified. It's good if you live somewhere really, really cold, which I just don't anymore. It's sad because looking at it, I think it looks cuter, but then when I put it on, I just don't like it. This, compared to the last one, I love this sweater so much. So this is my 4 Keeps cardigan, which I test knit again for Samantha Guerin. Samantha Guerin is who I started test knitting for in the beginning, and I loved it. Yeah, so this I finished in September of 2022, and I made the size 5 or 50-inch circumference. So compared to the other cardigan that I showed earlier, this one is like the perfect, like, I can snuggle up in it, and I love that so much. I knit this in, again, Knit Picks Wool, the Andes. This is the colorway Brass Heather, and it was worsted weight as well. I did modify the pattern on this because it is supposed to be just a waist length cardigan, but I had a lot of this yarn, so I kept knitting. I knit it really far, so it's kind of an oversized cardigan. The sleeves are supposed to be this balloon sleeve, and you have this rapid decrease at the end. Overall, it's like this broken rib with a cable. This cardigan I love. I will throw this cardigan on all the time. I think the color is a great color. It is like, I don't know, it's just like, it's a pop of color, but it's like a good color. I like how oversized it is. I can wear it over a tank top like this or over a long sleeve shirt. It's really lovely. I think the wool of the Andes holds up really well. For a outer layer, it doesn't feel too itchy. It actually feels quite soft. I've worn this one a lot, so I think maybe it's softened up over time. I love this yarn. I love this cardigan. I think the fit works really well. It's a good length. I feel like I did a good size for a cardigan. This is how I like a cardigan to sit on my shoulders, not gaping open. It's really comfortable. I find this versatile because I can throw a cardigan on, throw a cardigan off. I can wear it as an outerwear piece when it's like fall, or as a more like actual cardigan when it's colder and I can put a jacket on over it. It's a drop shoulder. I feel like I'm just waxing on about this, but I think this one hits all the marks. I like the yarn, I like the fit, I think it's versatile, and I like the color. I like this sweater. It's one of my favorites, and I remember it being a really fun project to knit. It has the button band like as you go, so you don't have to like pick it up. The cable is fun. The pattern is just like this knit and slip pattern, so highly recommend. I love this cardigan. It's so comfortable. I did the sleeves to the right length, and yeah, I love this cardigan. So this one I will definitely be keeping, and I wear it all the time. This next garment doesn't have as great of a story as the last one, which is really sad. Wow, I finished this in March of 2023, and this is my Heritage Harbor, which is also by Samantha Guerin. This sweater I knit the size 6, which is a 52-inch bust, and I knit it with North Bay Fibers Heritage DK. The colors were chestnut is my main color, and then walnut is the contrast. So let's go over this. This yarn is quite soft. It's a woolen spun yarn. It's warm, it's soft. I think it's softer than the sweater I just had on, which was the 4 Keeps. Yeah, I really like this yarn. I would knit with this yarn again. Color, I think it's a good color. It's kind of in the palette that I'm trying to move toward. Maybe it's not like the best brown in the world, but overall I think it's kind of cute. Now when it comes to fit, I think this is where I missed the mark personally on this sweater. I think I picked a size too big. 4 drop shoulders. When you have a bigger bust, I know people, I think I just sized up too much. I think overall it's just like too big. And I think when I put it on, it just like doesn't drape because of the woolen spun. And so then I think like the oversized, I think it just looks too big on me. I would knit this a size smaller if I knit it again. I think a 52 is just too big for like what I want this sweater to be. I think right now it looks extremely oversized so that it like almost functions more as like an outerwear piece, but I want this to be like a sweater where it's a little more fitted. I can wear it every day. And so I think I would need to size down. I also have learned I am not a big fan of open sleeves. I would much rather have a sleeve that comes in, is tight on my wrist. So I don't mind a balloon sleeve or a big sleeve, but I would want to wrap a decrease, have that cuff sit on my wrist tightly. I just think it looks too big. Every time I wear it, I like want to wear it. I grab it and I put it on, and every time I'm just like slightly disheartened by the size that I made, because I just think it doesn't hit the mark for me because of the size that I picked. And so with that, I think it's just not super versatile because it's just too big. It's kind of an outerwear versus a sweater, which is what I want it to be. So I've honestly been contemplating on this one. Do I rip it out and knit it again? Because I love the neckline and I love the drop shoulder. I like the colors. I think it was a fun pattern to knit because you have the stripe and then the texture to kind of make it fun, but I just like there's so much extra fabric, and it's my own fault. I asked to test a size that is too big for me. So that's this one. I like the sweater so much. And I like the yarn, I like the color palette. I just think I knit it too big. The next sweater is an exciting one though. This is my Easy V sweater by Caitlin Hunter. This is my favorite sweater. It's in my top 3 favorite sweaters that I've ever made. So the yarn that I used is a natural merino yarn that I picked up in Germany. It's not a commercial yarn. It's kind of from a smaller store. I'm pretty sure I have it all linked on where I bought it in the Ravelry page, but that was that. And then I picked 3 skeins of Spin Cycle. It's not dyed in the wool. It's the Worsted Weight one Dream State for the contrast colors. So this is a round yoke V-neck kind of sweater. I love how this neckline fits. I know it's wider, and I kind of griped about another one, but I feel like on a crew neck, I like a tight opening. But this one is meant to be a wide V-neck, kind of a wide option. I did used to have elastic in it, but I think it brought it up too much, and so I took the elastic out. I love how it fits. I did the 3 colors on the sleeve. I did have to drastically shorten the sleeve because I have short arms. But yeah, that's this sweater in a nutshell. The yarn I really like. This is a natural merino, so it is that softer feel, but it's not super washed, so but it's still soft. So I do really like this. I think the colors are the only thing that I would maybe tweak a smidge. I think they're a little primary colored. Like I picked like a red, a blue, and a yellow versus I think I would want something maybe a little more less primary color whenever I make this again, because I think I will definitely make this again. I really like how the sleeve blended, like this more orangey. It's just very like primary in the chest option, but like this one looks really nice where it's a little more orange. I'd probably just definitely switch out the yellow. I think if that was more orange or like a rust, it would really be cohesive. I don't mind it though. I think the primaries work. I mean, they're primary colors for a reason. They're kind of all in the same spectrum, so I think that works. As far as the fit and size, I love how long it is. And I think like the body length is really good. I love the neckline. This just feels like a comfortable sweater that I can throw on. I can wear it as an outerwear piece, but I can wear it by itself. I think it looks really cute. No qualms on how it fits. And so yeah, I think it's pretty versatile. I wear this honestly all the time. I love how it fits. Honestly, I'm like, maybe I should just wear this for the rest of the day. I love it. I think it's so snuggly and comfortable. I would definitely knit this again. I mean, maybe the armhole's a bit low, but I like how it fits. I like how it fits a lot. So this is my Easy V. I love this sweater. It is in my top sweaters. Here is my next sweater. And we'll try it on. So this is my festival sweater by Petite Knit. I knit this in August of 2023, or that's when I finished it. And I made the large, which is supposed to be a 44, but my gauge made it about a 48. I used Knit Picks palette held double for the gray, and then more of that natural merino yarn that I picked up in Germany for the little white pearls. So for this one, for the yarn, I think the Knit Picks palette is soft. It's a Peruvian Highland wool. It's not too bad. I like the DK weight. Don't find this super itchy. Color-wise, again, I don't think gray is like my best color. I also just like don't know if stripes are the most flattering design for me. Maybe that's like the thing that I'm noticing between the Stratified and then this one. Maybe it's the stripes. I don't know. Also for this one, it does have a folded over neckline, which I don't mind that. But again, it is a little bit wide. I guess I could put a little bit of elastic in and maybe that would bring it up a little bit. But for a round yoke sweater, this is one that doesn't fit as nicely as some of my others. I do like the length. I think I knit it to a good length. The sleeves are a good length. I don't mind how this sweater looks. I don't think the gray is my best color. Also, one other thing I did is I did add bust darts to this one, but I added short rib bust darts. And so you can see where this, in the back, they come together and then they come apart in the front. Which I don't think is that big of a deal, but going forward I'd probably do vertical bust darts versus horizontal in order to avoid that. But overall, I just don't think the gray is my favorite color. Otherwise, it's pretty versatile. I mean, it's a really basic sweater. It's pretty easy to throw on. It's a little roomier, so I do think it lends a little more to like sweatshirt versus like sweater. But I think that's just me figuring out sizing with time. And yeah, the little baubles were not the easiest to make, but overall, I think this is a mid-range sweater. I changed some of the colors, I changed a little bit of the fit, but yeah, overall not my best, not my worst, kind of a mid-range sweater. So So that's my festival sweater by Petite Knit. Here is my next sweater. So when it comes to favorite sweaters, this is one that is in my top favorites. This was a test knit that I did for Tiffany Lind. It is the Willow Branch sweater. I test knit this and I finished in November of 2023. I knit it in Wool of the Andes. Do we see a pattern? It's Wool of the Andes, worsted weight, and it is in the colorway Merlot Heather. So it's this like brownie rust color that leans a little red. I love it. I love this sweater. It's a round yoke, lace-ish kind of pattern, but not too lacy. I love how it fits. This is one of my best fitting sweaters. It fits really nicely in the underarms. I believe this is just a round yoke. I don't believe there's any raglan shaping. I did knit the collar a little bit longer, but overall, oh wait, did I say what size I knit? I knit the size 47 inch. So it's technically a little smaller than my bust, but I think it fits really well. So we'll say on the fit, I like the neckline when I'm not wearing a super, this is a very shallow tank top, so I can wear a normal tank top under it. I think it fits really nicely. I did a good length. The sleeves hit at the perfect, like, it's a little bit over my wrist, but not too much, a little onto my hand. The sleeves aren't too tight, but they're fitted. I love the fit. It's one of my best fitting sweaters. As far as yarn and color, you know I like Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I think it's soft. I've worn this one a lot, and so it is got that little bit of a softer to it, and I think the color is perfect. I love the color. And I think it's really versatile. It's a nice basic color. It fits like a sweater. I can wear it with jeans, or it's a really easy one to throw on and wear on a regular basis. So this is definitely in my top level of sweaters. I love it so much. My next one isn't a sweater, but it is my one and only vest. I'm throwing it in this roundup because it's got mohair in it. So this is my Stockholm Slipover that I made from Petite Knit. I knit the size 2XL, which is a 47.5 inch bust. It is a oversized vest, so it goes down quite low. Yeah, I honestly haven't worn this a ton because I finished it in May of 2024, which means I should have been able to wear it last fall, but I guess I just didn't. But I like how it fits. So it's a bit oversized. The yarn that I used Leading Men Fiber Arts Spotlight, which is a fingering weight yarn held with Barocco Ariel. They're both a like Merlot wine red kind of color. This overall was a pretty easy sweater to make. I mean, it's a tank top with no sleeves. I mean, all tank tops don't have sleeves, but you know what I'm saying. It's just a boxy tank top. I like the neckline. I think it will go really nicely over long sleeve shirts. And it's a nice warm tank top, but without being too warm. I like this mohair. It doesn't feel itchy. It feels warm. It feels soft. I like the color that I picked, and yeah, I think this is pretty versatile. I think it is just something that I don't have a ton of vest, so I'm still learning how to wear them. I have some new long sleeve t-shirts that I can kind of put this on over it, and so I think this is something that I will have in a stronger rotation this fall and winter. I just had to like figure out how to wear it. But I think overall the fit looks really nice. I think it'll just be easy to throw on other things. I knit it cropped, not too cropped. I like the length. So my Stockholm sweater, slipover. And yeah, I'll get some wear out of this. I like it. There is another sweater in this that I can't show you, which was my Traveler, which was technically supposed to be next, but on a recent flight, I left my Traveler on the plane. I filed a lost items report and it hasn't come back yet, so I Don't know if my Traveler will be coming back into my possession. But that one I really liked. I wore it all the time, hence it being left on a plane. Anyway, this is my next garment to show you, and this one is a behemoth. This is my Eastwind jacket. It is from the book Knits About Winter, and it's by Emily Foden. I finished it in October of 2024. I started it in January 2024, so it took me 10 months, not actively knitting on it the whole time, but it is done. So it is a jacket, oversized. I knit the size 58.5 inches, so it's got about 10 inches of positive ease from my bust, more from my hips. It's a drop shoulder, and I knit it with West Yorkshire Spinners Jacobs DK, and then Rowan Kid Silk Haze as a mohair. So it's a DK plus a mohair, and it's a jacket. It has pockets, and this was a behemoth. I wanted it finished last winter so that I could wear it, and then I proceeded to not wear it at all last winter. I will be changing that. So the yarn. I like the yarn. This mohair and yarn combo is a little itchier, I think, than like that vest that I just showed, but it is an outerwear piece. I will never be wearing it without something under it, so I think that's okay. Color. If I had to do this again, would I knit it in gray? I think you know the answer. Probably not. But I did spend 10 months on it, so I'm going to keep it. I also, can you guess? Don't love the neckline. It's just a little weird. It's a little wide. It's a little tubey. I did knit a matching hood to go with this because I find this quite wide, and I don't want like my neck to be cold if I'm wearing a cold, or this jacket, because it is a warm jacket. So I think with that hood, I'll probably get more wear out of it. I think that was something that prohibited me from wearing it last year. But I mean, I knit it to the pattern. I love the length. Would I change the color? Yes. I don't think it's the worst gray though, because I think it's a little darker versus some of the lighter grays. I like my buttons. So color's got a little bit of a ding. I like the yarn. I think the fit is good other than the neckline being a bit wide, but I've made a hood to kind of go with it to correct that. And as far as versatile, I mean, it's a jacket. I haven't tried wearing it versus like my other winter jacket. I guess we'll have to see. But I think it fits nicely. It's easy to throw on. I like the buttons. So I definitely should have this in more of a rotation this fall, because I spent a lot of time on this and it was something that I really, really wanted. I do think it's one that I kind of had to like either have it buttoned or not buttoned. It kind of doesn't have an in-between. And also, I don't know if you can hear Ebony, but she is screaming to be picked up. So yes, this is my Eastwind jacket. I'll have to revisit my verdict of this after this winter season. After maybe I try wearing it a little bit. But I do really like it. Do you want to say hello? What she actually wants is to be let into the closet, which she is not allowed to do. Don't you? So here is my next sweater. This was also a test knit. So this is my Staffin Cardigan by Rebecca Clow. I finished this in December of 2024. I also did this as a test knit. The yarn I used is in Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool in the colorway Oatmeal, and I did the round neck raglan option. I did a size 47.25, but I think this cardigan is bigger than that. I'll have to double check, but I'm like, this does not look like a 47 to me. I do like the fit of this. I think this cardigan like does close nicely, comes around the front well. If I wasn't test knitting and I could pick, I would have done the V-neck versus the crew neck. I think that's just a stylistic choice. I like V-necks a little bit more. I think the yarn shows the definition of the stitch pattern really well. It is that kind of boring beige, boring quote unquote, but it is pretty wearable. I can wear a colored shirt under it. It pairs pretty nicely. Fisherman's wool is not the softest wool compared to like a merino. So I mean, there is that. It could be a little bit softer, but it is kind of a nice outerwear. I don't think the sleeves are too big. I think it fits nicely for that. And yeah, I think the color makes it versatile. I think it's easy to throw on. I don't know if I picked the best buttons, but I mean, I think I like the length. I really have no complaints about this one. I think it fits really nicely. If I did it again, I would just do that V-neck option instead, but I do think this crew neck one is a nice one to have in my wardrobe. So this is something that I wore quite a bit last year. It is a bit warmer. I think the fisherman's wool is a bit thicker. It's a bit warmer as a yarn. So I do tend to wear it as we move into some of the colder versus early fall. But I really like it. So that's my Staffin cardigan. We have 3 more sweaters, and I think these are all the sweaters from 2025 so far. So this first one, spoiler, one of my favorites. This is my study session sweater, which I test knit for Samantha Guerin earlier this year. I finished it in February of 2025. I love this sweater. It's one of my favorites. I did knit the size 5 or 48 inch for this one. I used the yarn Brooklyn Tweed Reply Rambouillet, which is a DK weight yarn. I'm so sad this yarn is not made anymore because it has been one of my favorites. It's a 6 ply. It shows off the definition really, really well. I love the color and I love how it feels. So that's a little bit of spoiler there. Color, tick. Yarn, tick. Would knit with this yarn again. I love it. For the fit, I have no issues. I knit the sleeves to the right length. I love the V-neck. I love the neckline. I think the length is perfect. And I find this extremely versatile. It is one of my favorite sweaters. It's not very woolly. It's not itchy. It's a great color. I love this patterning. You wouldn't think that I knit it because it's so beautiful. I love the drop shoulder. I love the balloony sleeves with the cuff. This is my go-to sweater. I love this sweater. It is my favorite. I don't know what else to say. I will knit this again. Will I hit it out of the park with a different yarn? I don't know. I love this Brooklyn Tweed Reply Rambouillet. So if you know anything that is similar to it, please let me know because I'm so sad it's not made anymore. But overall, I love the balloon sleeve. I think this is something I really like. V-neck, perfect length. Everything about this, I love it. Sorry, I don't know what else to say. It just hits all the criteria. When I set out to do this, this was the criteria and it meets it all. So that's this one. My study session by Samantha Guerin. I need to make, she has other versions of the study session. I need to make that as well. Also, I think DK weight is just chef's kiss. It's perfect. So yeah, I love this sweater. My next one. This is my Miles shirt jacket by Ozetta. And I finished this earlier this year in March of 2025. I knit this in Kelbor Woolen's Lucky Tweed colorway Rust. So woolen spun worsted weight yarn. So this cardigan overall is oversized. It's supposed to be a shirt jacket. And it is that. The sleeves are long. I wanted them to be a bit longer because it is more of a jacket. I didn't do the collar as high because I didn't want it to be super high. But overall, I really like this one. The woolen yarn is nice and lightweight. It's nice and drapey. I think it fits nice. I did not do the pockets, but Overall, I really like the yarn. Soft, not too itchy, lightweight, drapes well. I like the color. I like these kind of like orangey rust colors. Fit and size, I think maybe the sleeves are a little long, but I think it closed nicely. It's not too tight when I have to button it. Because I finished this in March, I haven't worn it in some colder weather yet, so I'll have to let you know kind of as the fall goes. But overall, I think this is nice, something easy to throw on. It's comfy. It's not super itchy. I like the drape, so I'm pretty happy with this one. I think a lot of my sweaters from this year are really, I think I've really fine-tuned some things, figured out what really works. So I like this. It's a drop shoulder. So yeah, this is my Miles shirt jacket. I did steek this as well because I didn't want to knit a lot of purling. I didn't want it to be too much purling, so I did steek it and knit it in the round, and then picked up and did the button band. It's very long, as you can see, and I like this little, I think that's cute. It's definitely long. It's a bit oversized, but like I think this looks like an intentional oversized. Yay! So then we have one sweater left. So this is my last sweater. Oh, I like this one. This is my Eun Sweater by Anne Fiskun. I knit a size 50 inch in this one, and I knit it with Brooklyn Tweed Imbue, which is a worsted weight merino yarn. It's so soft. This yarn is so lovely. The merinos definitely just have a different feel to them. It's not a super wash, but it feels really nice. It has this really cute split hem, which I don't even know if you can see my tank top. Yeah, you can slightly. It's a raglan. I think the collar is nice. It's nice and fitted. It's not too wide. The yarn is lovely. I've told you it's soft. I like the color. I think the blue suits me. I think this will be very versatile because it does fit like a sweater. The split hem is nice with my high-rise pants. I did decrease at the cuffs so that they weren't too open because I know that's something I don't like, as I mentioned earlier, and this is just really comfortable. I finished this earlier this year in April, so I've not been able to really take it out and wear it. Finished it in the spring. It's been too warm to wear. So now that we're moving into the fall, I think it'll be something that I will have in rotation pretty often. I think the raglan is comfortable. It is a bit low, but not too bad. I did add my own bust darts, and I think it just looks really nice. I think the yarn is soft and comfortable, and I think it looks put together while also being comfortable. So this is my last sweater, my most recent one. I've made some tank tops and tees since then for the rest of the year, but this is my last sweater. So yeah, this one ticks all the boxes as well, I think. So overall, that's all my sweaters. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know this is probably a little bit of a rambly video as I just try on and share my thoughts about some of my sweaters, 5 years worth of sweaters. So I really appreciate you just hanging out with me. Hopefully you learned a little bit something, maybe saw a new pattern, learned about a yarn. I don't know. If you watched this far, thank you for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to do a little more content like this that's a little knitting, but maybe not a knitting podcast. So if it's something you enjoy, please let me know. Let me know if there's other types of topics you want to see. Again, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you did like this video, and I hope to come back at you guys again in a future video here soon. So I just want to say thank you. Sorry I'm now rambling here at the end, but I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thanks for sitting as I chat and try on all my knitted clothes, and I'll see you again soon.